his name over to ZJC, and that's widely what we're going to look to stick to calling him throughout this. So just to avoid any confusion, they are in fact.
Hold on. I'm gonna give him this. Oh, it went off my screen. Now I can't remember it. I was gonna give him the whole name. Wait, okay, they brought it back. HFMI0D ZJC9Z7. There you go. He says he wants the casters to say the whole thing, so I'll give him this one time.
Well, we're going to hone in on the ZJC that's right there, pretty much smack dab in the middle of the name as we get ready to go through this one. I know that his goal was, of course, to troll the casters, but trolled we shall not be.
That's right.
Not today. Well, let's see how this does end up looking, though, because we started things off back-to-back overtime maps here on the A stream. A bit of a blowout in the last one, and I'm hoping that that is not the case here between these two titanic squads, because we deserve it, to be frank. The viewers deserve it. Everybody watching this right now, we deserve a very good series between these two squads. So let's see if they are going to be able to deliver on that, as I don't think that's exactly where that shock dart was meant to go. Either way, Foxy9, first contact here is Texture going to be paranoid off the top there of pipes. In the meantime, Ash hunting things down here. Over in mid, finds Chichu. Kong does end up falling. Texture going to be taking down the shock dart. Very wisely layered in there from nobody. Just managed to peel back a kill. Some damage onto Ash. He really left unscathed here on the side of Gen.G, but EDG gonna have their work cut out for them here, but that's a great start as CJC fighting two. Foxy9 with everything to do. Tries to go for the 180 pivot, but nobody is there, collecting himself a third kill as EDG take the opening pistol.
Just holding a wide open angle. ZJC just catching Gen.G completely off guard. I think they would have swung that on a closer timing together if they expected that player to be there. I think Texture a little bit frustrated. He had an opportunity to get a kill from the pipes early on. Couldn't convert on that. Pretty rare to see him not just so clean, it's unfair to his opponent. That is some nice work. 2 quick kills with the Ghost headshots, and that is going to open up this attacker side for Edward Gaming. Dart on top of the belt, but they're just going to wait that out a bit.
This is the heavier stacks of 4 players from Gen.G in position. Spot out to a few of them. The transfer down. Kong coming over 3. Texture does manage to find himself a second. Opportunity for Foxy9 to really get some damage in. They need it. Well, frankly, a couple more kills to really have that happen. Will be a quick little pivot back here. Get set up to watch the flank. As Foxy arriving, unable to find any damage there onto Smoggy. So, all the weapons widely going to be carried forward here. 2 Guardians and a Bulldog in the hands of EDG as they close out the anti-eco.
Yeah, so just clean mechanics from Kong as he just shuts down that hit basically single-handedly. You know, Texture firing back, so rights the wrongs a bit from the first round. And gets a little help along the way. A few assists carry over, but let's see what EDG can bring. It felt weird being at Toronto without seeing them there. They're just such a mainstay. Obviously, they had one of the longest runs outside of Paper Rex in terms of qualifying for global events, and hopefully this is a rejuvenated EDG. Nano to clear the turret, so that is not going to be a tool Foxy's going to have in his bag. So that's going to force him up the tube, try to make sure that there's no players encroaching, and he sees ZJC with the Guardian. Yeah,
rushing forward, trying to find that kill. Was a recall, so turret is going to be available again here for Foxy9 pretty quickly, as Karan, with a nice opening elimination, will put Smoggy down. So just the Viper smokes to try to play around here for the side of EDG. So get a very entrenched push up in towards mid. Drone to try to check. Foxy holding down tube. Goes away with the kill over onto Kong, but ZJC continuing to fight back. Tries to bring this to parity with Chichu's help. Back across over at the B site. They're able to do so. Now a 3v3. Nobody still just with that Sheriff in hand. Can certainly scoop up the weapon from the corpse of Munchkin here on the B side as he brings the spike over to Bear.
Oh, this is super doable for EDG. I mean, you have to play retake the whole way. You're going to have the turret there.
Spike planted.
Play further back off site. I mean, you have shock dart. You have every molly in the book, basically, except for one for ZJC. So this is going to be tricky for Gen.G. It's going to really rely on Texture, but he's noted by the alarm bot. So this is not going to be easy.
Does have the tailwind to try to go for a quick peek. ZJC, attention going to be pulled back over towards the site where Ash and Foxy9 are breaking through, and Texture does get the jump. So, catastrophe going to be averted. Gen.G find themselves on the board, stopping what was looking like Almost a surefire bonus conversion here from EDG.
I really thought they had a great shot, but I mean, even with Texture being identified, showing great patience there, waiting for his other teammates to make contact before he starts pushing through, and all of Gen.G winning their 1v1s in that 3v3. Massive stuff, but some hot starts, particularly for the Killjoy of EDG, the new arrival for the Chinese super team. Texture gonna clean it up at the end, and that's got a high five and a fist bump there from the coaching staff of Gen.G. Looking to see if they can string another one together here. Getting really close to Hunter's Fury though. Nobody one away. Same with Ash, so could see some stuff going on there. Although, be curious to see what they want to do with that tic-tac-toe of the lockdown. You know, a lot of teams might just hang on to that Hunter's Fury for a while. Ash though, just gonna be waiting with the drone to check. Clear of the utility.
Alarm bot does get taken down. Spike in hand here for nobody. We'll give him that Hunter's Fury. It's all about, can he get himself into a disconnected position after the plant? As Kong scaling forward on the rafters, catches a spot. Foxy9 just on the other side of the smoke. Just goes for the spray out. Manages to find him in the face. A very solid kill, giving the player advantage over to the side of Gen.G as they look to go for the retake.
Nowhere to run!
Big button to try to delay. Hunter's Fury now opened up from nobody, finds the tag. On to Ash, is looking for the follow-up, and will connect on the Texture, so it's going to be info at the very least. As push-up comes through, Chicho here at backside. With a mow down two, looks for the third, can't quite make it happen.
Bomb grenade
Heron finding his footing.
Last player
Disconnected positions here. Texture going to be good for one more. The shock dart going to be sent out, but it's a little bit early, and Munchkin now arrives in from behind, gets himself on the board, and tie things up at 2-2.
Yeah, this is a really nice play from Ash and Foxy9. Ash not getting caught out, trying to peek screens there. And Foxy9 finding a perfect timing. A little worried there. Sometimes, you know, a player like Foxy9 who just has tremendous mechanics might get ahead of himself with the timings on those pushes through the smokes. But he waited for the contact from his teammate, made him move through. Chichu looking really hot here. Almost gets Karan, takes him down to 11 HP. And then the classic Munchkin late game lurk to secure the round. Trying to keep the vibes good, trying to keep the energy high. Now, two huge ultimates for Gen.G to tool around with. Lockdown and the Hunter's Fury. So a ton of options here. You can play retake, you can play aggressive. A lot to consider for EDG. As you can see, they're pumping the brakes a little bit off the rip. Looking to see if maybe there'd be some kind of setup for the Hunter's Fury.
Seems like Gen.G may be anticipating this is going to be a B-side strategy setup coming through for a thrifty attempt, but for now at least, EDG very much piling in towards this A site. Can be reinforced a little bit. Drone on the check, going out. Will get the spot out on the 2. And, well, if you see Smoggy, you see Kong, you should have a pretty good idea of where that spike is going to look to end up.
Just need Texture to win this battle against Chichu. That should open up the map for you.
Does connect. Doesn't find the kill, however. Puts him down to 21. That does force Chichu back away. In the meantime, everybody else rewrapping through screens. Himself situated here for the attack. Paranoia across, but Ash able to tuck in, just barely behind that little pillar, keeps himself safe, and now you have the timing on the lockdown from Foxy9, flushing them right back out.
He might be under pressure through mid.
Area's clear.
Gonna take a peek.
Spots out one, sees the other. Can very easily call the rotation here.
Left.
We still have Texture situated with that outlaw in position. Playing the close angle, waiting for somebody to just come poking out of this poison orb. 17 seconds remaining. EDG gonna have to get a go. Happening here is, okay, Texture doesn't narrowly manage to find that final shot on the Chichu. Plan, however, maybe just opened up enough to be able to come through. CJC trying to scale forward here onto the corner, but they will eventually just get mowed down. Foxy9 trying to fast track that next lockdown. And Gen.G will continue on their merry way.
Really well handled overall. Just kind of working the map, taking that space where they could. Making sure they're not giving up anything too easily. Again, Ash, good movement to avoid any serious damage. Extra good for one. They're just being really patient. Just great reads on the map the whole way. Loved it again from Foxy9. 9-3 here to start. The way that he played mid there after his lockdown, just watched, didn't try to go for anything greedy. Knew he might be going up against Sheriffs, and wisely just played for a hold of B just to keep them from even being able to plant the spike. So timeout called, and it is going to be EDG popping the first one of the match.
Likely very happy with how things had started, but know how momentum-based Gen.G can be, so want to try to disrupt that a little bit here with a timeout call. Let's see what the game plan is going to look like as they get ready to go into the next buy round here to try to recover this half. Because if we've learned anything from watching Icebox, it's attacker-sided.
Yeah, a bit. Just a bit, usually. Sometimes I question it, depending on what teams are playing, but yeah, for sure here.
There's a couple anomalies.
There's a few out there, but this definitely seems like it should be attacker-sided, so things get scary for EDG, and I think that's worth the early timeout because you know Texture's going to be getting into that operator, and you don't want him to just shut the map out because he is fully capable of doing that by himself with an operator when he is fully engaged. Just a matter of EDG if they can find those moments, find those picks. Looking to set up for a B crunch seemingly early if they can get away with it. You know, you're tucking Kong in there, using that Viper smoke, try to obscure your movement.
Foxy going to be scaling forward, anticipating somebody to go on that push through the poison orb, but all of EDG getting clustered. Some pings coming down though, reading this more disconnected position from ZJC outside of A.
We haven't seen any peeking from Texture over here at B, so I think this is why EDG is feeling really confident to just try to brute force their way through.
Paranoia at the ready. There's a recon going to be sent to fly. Paranoia goes out. Karen catching a glimpse, but does get ping revealed here. As the recon gets the hit. He's going to be back over to safety. EDG, they stick around. Might be a cut of the noise here as Foxy9 similarly going to be forced away from this under 2 position.
You should run.
Lock them now in play, but the Hunter's Fury is there available to try to go ahead and clear this out. Foxy9 will look at the readjustment, takes down ZJC.
30 seconds left.
So he can just back away, and the lockdown, I mean, it's right there in mid. It's a bit of an awkward one here. Causes some chaos. Doesn't lead to a full evacuation. Kong with 2, but Munchkin trades 1 back. Finds a headshot on the nobody, brings it back in. Now into a 3v3 with everyone on EDG completely and utterly tagged up. Texture out from mid, able to find Smoggy. Top of nest. Now it's just about flushing out Kong and Chichu. That's 60 health between the two of them.
No util to work with.
Double back yellow positioning. Munchkin finds the first, and Texture right through the corner of yellow. We'll get rid of Chichu as well. Timeout call, not going to be leading to the round win. EDG now down by 2.
And that feels like it's going to be rather painful. Gen.G knows it. Big smiles across the board for them, knowing that that was a crucial round for EDG on this map. You know, again, Texture's got the op. You want to take that round, at least take the round away. Maybe you don't get the op itself, but you know, I understand the game plan here for EDG. I think it's a pretty solid read.
One enemy remaining.
Just a few timings there. Foxy's been really solid in his ability to catch players off guard, to find his and not overcommit, not overextend. You know, something that I think he's really improved on this year. Something in the past that he would kind of get greedy. He'd get that 1 kill and he'd get fired up thinking he can get a few more. This year he's been much more disciplined. He finds that 1 and done and gives his team that man advantage that maybe in the past he might greed for. You can see right here. Maybe challenge the angle, but smoke there to make it a little bit tricky for him to read exactly what's going through. Gonna have to just trust that they're not getting in. And Texture.
There goes Kong.
Yep.
Pulled off the side of the screen by a Vaudevillian Kane that is Texture's off. Drone getting the ping. Nobody with a nice shot. Does go ahead and take down Ash. It's a further spot out here. Texture needing to respect that. This orb will just be taken. And in the meantime, just lurk forward over at B. A bit of a misplace? No, okay. Smoke's good enough to work as a one-way. It's a little too shallow at first, but Foxy out looking to try to play intercept. Peeks in, shots ringing out in his direction, opts to back away. This is exactly what you're talking about, that restraint.
Yep.
Not looking to over-challenge.
Right call there.
Aren't potentially at risk, though. Does manage to get back in behind
30
yellow.
seconds left.
They are unawares. Paranoia going to be sent, let loose. Connects onto the 2 close players. ZJC going to be taken down. As Khan still just dancing around yellow. As his teammates go ahead and play off the back of his util. Texture with a 3K. Munchkin on the late lurk as ever. Gen.G move up 5-2.
Again, it's just phenomenal discipline here from Gen.G. So some of the things you saw in the beginning of Masters Toronto with this team where they were just all over the place in terms of just reading their opponents, just making the right moves at the right time. Nobody's doing anything untoward. finding their kills, finding their moments. Nice little leg showing through the smoke there. A little scandalous, but Texture gonna find the kill anyway. And this is really concerning now for EDG. It has to turn around here. You're gonna be down like 8-4 maybe at the half.
Yeah, and having that while starting on the attacker side certainly going to be brutal. Hunter's Fury, Foxy dodging around it, dives back into the second pump. Can he avoid the third? The answer is yes. And Kong is strafing into him. Foxy 9 is just on an absolute heater at the moment. Completely snuffing the flame of EDG at every twist and turn.
Man, when he is on, he is so damn good. Just incredible decision-making, incredible aim. What more could you want from a player? You can see why Gen.G swaps back to Foxy 9 after a brief... Oh, hold on. Okay, he's okay. We're fine here.
Walking that tightrope. Stay safe for now, nobody. Looking to try to go ahead and shut down the entry. Finds himself a second, but Munchkin in kind. Responding, finding nobody, and Smoggy. That interrupts the plan. Tap here over the top. It looks like it's going to be fairly late pivot call coming through. Steps may be heard here. That jump certainly was. Texture reading decently well that there's going to be a player in position at Kitchen. Knowing what space they have surrendered and given up.
30 seconds left.
Chichu not looking to peek his head out.
Texture trying to fake silence that he's going back towards A. Trying to see if he can catch him off guard.
Hear the footsteps, the plant getting ready to come through. Yeah, went forward, gets the right click. That should basically be the round done. Chichu needs to try to get the plant, draws out his weapon, but Munchkin will eventually find the shots, gets himself a 3K, and continues to keep Gen.G in a firm lead.
Yeah, some decent decision-making here. Chichu holding the line. And it's just Gen.G so smart, so map-aware right now. Macro game working really, really well. Excuse me, nobody on the sofa holding the line there. On the other side of screen. Nice decision there on the right click. Knowing you got Munchkin right behind you to cover your back. And it's okay. And yep, again, high fives, very happy about it. So here he goes.
Up still recovered. TP forward had been spotted. He's going for a timing shot, but doesn't find it. Makes a quick exit. Not overstaying his welcome. Kong certainly feeling a stiff breeze as that op shot whizzed by him. Munchkin looking for a bit of a timing play. It's going to be double-faced down at bottom mid, so it's his head taken clean off. Little exchange of shots there between nobody and Chichu.
And now you know that Kitchen a little bit weak, the tube as well. So that's going to force Texture into this position.
Kong just playing on a knife's edge here. Likely knowing that that position's going to be watched, so it doesn't have a great way without bringing a tailwind of trying to get access into Kitchen. Just playing it patiently, waiting to see if he gets any kind of peaks. As Kauran now scaling forward aggressively. Will opt to go ahead and back away. Drone leading the charge, 40 seconds now remaining here. EDG needing to make a decision pretty soon. It seems like they're deciding to evacuate the A site.
Yeah, they've been making a lot of these late round pivots. This time though, Gen.G isn't getting the read.
30 seconds left.
They're kind of thinking maybe this time will be the round that EDG actually commits to that like 40-second hit. Instead, it's going to be Foxy called upon again.
Shock Dart going to be sent, peeks in for one. Layers down the nano, has the next lockdown in play. Kong swooping around from behind though. Looking for an intercept play, finds a headshot. Ash going to be taken down, but Foxy finding another. Nobody now dropped. Spike planted, lockdown respected, they back away. Things starting to get a little bit chaotic, but Chichu going to be taken down. Kauran able to find the headshot. The dash forward, trying to steady the aim. Foxy 9 has himself a 3K. Now brings it into the 1v2 where Texture gets the alley-oop. Foxy 9 is absolutely immovable on this B side, on the A side, wherever he's playing. He has just been so crisp this map so far.
Ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous. It's hard to play better than he is right now. He is just taking this map over. And not bad decisions here. Again, EDG makes a good read, shuts Munchkin down. Viper's pit. Foxy 9 pushes it pretty aggressively, pretty quickly to try to see if he can catch Chichu as he's backing away towards yellow, but it ain't. He gets away, but that gives Foxy 9 the ability to kind of figure out that, hey, front side is clear. Let's start moving forward.
Toxins going up.
Now, here's that up, and
Texture a hair off on that shot. Absolutely could and should have had the punish on the Smoggy. Still going to be looking for it, but as he gets pinged out, will opt to back away. No clear on the recon.
for the same play. Something, oh goodness, he's just too good. It's Kong again.
Yeah, and that's the spot out here on elbow. This way in the corner, Texture with covering fire. Goes ahead and spares Ash. As peek over the top of Pipes getting ready to come through, and Texture cannot hit that flick, so suddenly gonna be a decent spot here for EDG to try to make a go of this. Give themselves a third round win. White lobbed in, Munchkin again flanking. Taking around the back, trying to arrive. Is the plant not yet coming through? This allows for Munchkin to get closer and closer, but eventually he's gonna have to make some noise here.
Spike planted.
Question is, the Smoggy drift back into the elbow position? Well, certainly does. Gets the spot out. Neither really able to exchange any damage. Smoggy realizing that he's between a rock and a hard place, but as the swing out comes through, Chiron is not reading Chichu's position, and Smoggy will be able to hound down Munchkin. So EG, much needed round win.
And it's hard to believe that with the way that round started, EDG is able to come through and get it. And it just looked like Texture was going to clean up the round, but then Smoggy hits a nasty 2K here. Ooh, on to Foxy9. That's nothing wrong with what Foxy9's doing there. That's the right position to be in to play for the trade. Smoggy just too good. Still though, plenty of money of course, as Gen.G ran 7 in a row. Back into the operator. And had to buy it over to Foxy9, but we're gonna have it for this one. Same play. This time gonna use a dart to guarantee Ash to get closer to his ult. Keeping pace with DJC. Over on the other side, nobody will claim a Hunter's Fury. Now you're just trying to see what you can do. Kong did grab an op. He has the blades behind it.
Oh, Recon a bit off there. As Tailwind across, gets the spot. Late lurk, Texture likely about to get caught off guard, but no, has the jump. Up in hand. Continues to just do wonders here for Gen.G. Push under the corner, Kong seeing more than enough though. Ends up falling to the wayside. Two players just gun him down. Hunter's Fury sent to no avail. No tags. No real hope. Double facing the opposite side of the smoke. Nobody needs to find that kill, but it's actually going to be Smoggy collecting two. Now certainly has his work cut out for him. The pivot back. Texture getting into position in case it's going to end up being a TP play. Looks like Smoggy's going to try to play this one out here onto the B site.
30 seconds left.
Scoops up the operator.
Checking from behind.
He's looking for that lurk.
And Munchkin's dead.
Well, Texture did do one early. So I'll give it to Smoggy this time.
Either way, scrambling, scooping up these weapons, wanting to find at least one kill, but Ash will then strike from above. Gen.G just continuing to put on a world of hurt here against EDG.
Yeah, it's just so much pressure that this operator creates, and you're just trying to find answers as EDG. Can you turn up the tempo? Can you try to go for a later lurk? Things like that, just not really finding much value. I mean, a couple rounds in a row here where Smoggy's had some pretty impressive gunplay, but Gen.G still just better. And some of these early maneuvers have got Kong and company frustrated. Double operator. Foxy9 no slouch at all with it either. Oh,
Chichu barely escaping. Would have been one of the weapons, one of the rifles, stranded on the floor. TP forward in towards back site, going to be cleared there by Ash. Prevents the cheeky play.
You should run.
Bit of a fake here. On TP of his own. And Hunter's Fury one charge away, so Ash no way to try to clear this one out. They have to respect it, they have to back away, but they're still just losing players here on entry. Gen.G opted to stick around for a little bit longer than EDG might have anticipated. They end up losing out on two players here just to get that spike planted.
Smoggy was obscured up in that position. Might be able to catch one.
Going on to one. Knives out at the ready. Wall gets raised. A 1-for-1 is Foxy. Cleans up the enemy KJ. Texture scoping in, finds the shot, and now leaves Smoggy to his own devices. A 1v2. Texture swapping weapons, trusting in his own ability, ends up getting taken down. Smoggy now Backpedal. Ash going for the hold to half. The retap, knows that he's not sticking it, tries the wide swing. But Ash will be able to take him down in the end. 9-3 at the half. Gen.G well out in front.
Yeah, this is just one of those maps where you get the operator in Texter's hands and forget about it.
Been an unbelievable half here for Gen.G. EDG looking to rally back as they move to the defending side. We'll see if they can get it done when we come back after halftime.
One enemy remaining.
All right, we are back and about to go into the second half here of Icebox between Gen.G and EDG. Decent start for the side of EDG. Almost getting themselves a bonus conversion, but since then, it's pretty much been nothing but Gen.G from that defender side, setting up for a 9-3 scoreline as we swap them over to the attack.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looked like, you know, there might be some rounds in the later part of that half where EDG was going to get some hero plays to carry them over, to get them a few extra rounds, but Gen.G able to hold the line. And, you know, it looked like a nice start for ZJC in his debut here for EDG, but kind of slipped as the map went on. No, the whole team did, to be fair.
We saw him in, he played a game in China.
Yeah,
so far.
That's true, that's true, that's true.
Secondary debut, I guess we could say. First one out of Global, for sure. Already. Oh, I mean, Fox is not really missing a beat. Kong in a nice position, though, underneath the kitchen window. Catches Karan completely unawares, but Kong cannot escape fast enough. Ends up getting taken down. And now we start seeing,
whoa,
okay, some good kills coming through from EDG. Texture Munchkin both gonna end up getting picked apart. That's Foxy and Ash to try get this pistol over the line. Shots swinging the double face. Ash finding the headshot there on the nobody at range. Smoggy now once again. Ash to try to clutch this up, but they just double face back in. Ash will take the second kill as well. And there you have it, 10-3. Gen.G looking relatively clean here in the pistol.
Yeah, that might just be the nail in the coffin. Kind of curious if EDG is going to opt to force up off of losing another pistol.
I mean, at this rate, you're down by 7. I think a forced buy, it could certainly catch Gen.G off guard.
Night-night.
Much in the way that Kong was able to catch Karan off guard, but from there, just things kind of falling apart.
Again, a few kind of moments here where it looks like EDG might be able to fight their way back into the round, but then just Gen.G tightens up. And it is going to be a few sheriffs purchased for EDG, but no other buy-ups to speak of. They're just going to try to turn the tables throughout the rest of this, see if they can find a 9-3 of their own, or even better. I mean, they'd have to run a lot in a row if they lose this. But
Oh, yeah. Be a monstrous comeback. Has been done before. Ash nearly caught there with util in hand, but Munchkin able to just go ahead and just massacre them here on the B site.
the Guardian God doing it again.
Plant to come in for free off the back of that. Karon clearing out the turret. TP's out to reposition, and that is just going to be nobody dead as soon as he exits the smoke. No one's going to go pushing into that one, so Smoggy having to backpedal. And it seems like widely, maybe you try to put the Sheriff to use. Really trusting in the aim to get the headshot, otherwise it's going to be a re-wrap through over to Snowman, die to the spike.
Just waiting to see.
Okay, well, they're going to try to pile in under tube, and okay, well, ZJC does narrowly
Player standing.
manage to make his way over, so he can die to the spike safely, gets a ton of damage on the texture, but cannot find that kill. So in the end, it's going to be a flawless anti-eco here at the hands of Gen.G, now just 2 rounds away from taking this best of 1.
Yeah, I mean, if you drop even 1 round here as EDG, it's at best overtime. So things getting pretty dire pretty early. And do they have the wherewithal to kind of get some rounds going, get themselves back into this at the very least, maybe get some momentum for their upcoming matches? Who knows? But man, Foxy already 20 kills here in 14 rounds. Goodness gracious.
Now, this is around the time that Gen.G would start choking their leads at Masters Toronto, so if you're EDG, I think you're kind of hoping that that ends up being the case again. Saw them drop, what, 2-9-3 halves that they had?
I just chose to forget that.
I think they have as well, because right now they're looking very well tooled.
Yeah, it's hard to see a world where EDG is going to be able to come back into this, and, you know, even Kong Kong only a Bulldog because they had to buy up. Chichu.
And jiggles out. Damage not going to be suffered. Kong Kong just making a little bit of noise as he drops down off pipes. Foxy can relay that. What does the call end up being? EDG looking like they're going to pivot across in towards mid, and this could set up for a bit of an awkward time here for Gen.G.
Turret maybe gets a catch, unsure. No, I think they cut through the smoke. No, they had to clear it. So Gen.G should be somewhat aware of this, I think.
Starting to pivot. Question is, are they ready for texture? Well, yeah, eventually the answer is yes. Smoke blooming, high-low setup here into mid, and that's going to be Ash taken down. Spike quickly going to be scooped up, but the weapon has to be left behind.
30 seconds left.
Player advantage still going to be here in the hands of EDG. Foxy getting rid of the tip of the spear there in Kong Kong. Plant comes in here from Karon. Good playing forward on, or under the rafters rather. Immediately gets flushed out. Solid opportunity here for EDG now. Get through the behemoth that Foxy 9 has been. Slow creep flop, spots out the head. Does get a connection there. Karon at the same time able to find Chichu. Now they know 2 of the 3 players going to be in this position. Drops down out into the open. And Smoggy will be able to collect some damage dealt. Some hurt to the economy, but EDG hold on by a thread.
Well, okay. Got the job done there. Pretty nice consideration through mid. Just kind of reading the situation very nicely with not a ton of information being given over. Just a little bit of a jump peek from Chichu. Kind of gave them the confidence that they needed to start scaling their way up through mid. Setting up for this double stack to try to catch the counter rotation from Gen.G. And so Gen.G was aware they weren't ready for that.
1 enemy remaining.
Not much that Foxy 9 and Karon can do at that point. A little bit of a clap, but it is going to take a long trek to get back into this game. Gen.G going to see if they can just end this best of 1 quickly. Foxy has a huge push out. Kong Kong already up in their nest. And he just has to fall back into spawn and wait this out.
It seems like Gen.G are reading this incredibly well.
Yeah.
Huge amount of respect and space going to be given over. Foxy potentially at risk though, as the drone will spot him out. And the flank is getting ready to come through. Paranoia now coming in, but Munchkin's there to try to bail him out. And eventually we'll be able to go ahead and line the spray. Kong Kong now committed position. Some damage dealt, nobody. Be back in the main, similarly able to find that elimination. Foxy 9 just dancing backward here, anticipating. He's gonna come through the cloudburst, but still gets to readjust.
Spike planted.
EWC trying to fight them back. Foxy9 tagged down to 25. But at the same time, while this is all happening, all the rest of EDG is dead and the spike is planted.
He just bought a ton of time. A little help from Munchkin, but again, just tremendous individual efforts from Foxy9 are making such a huge difference in these rounds.
And you can't even say that they really won the battle. Kind of stalemated it outside of A, and EDG are certainly losing the war. There's nothing more to be done other than just go for the save. Gen.G get themselves up to match point here. 12-4, EDG need 8 rounds in a row.
It's a tall task, to say the least. And what do you do? What do you do against this? Because Foxy9 is...
Guess I'll die.
Yeah, exactly. GG go next. It is just crazy how well he's playing individually. Like, just the decision-making in the heat of the moment is impeccable.
Die.
I mean, Munchkin there backing him up initially, and he just reads that reposition from Kong nicely, keeps himself obscured from nobody,
One
and then
enemy
just
remaining.
plays rope-a-dope. There is very little that EDG has been able to find success with. You know, there are moments in the round where you're like, okay, maybe, and then it just gets shut right down, so...
Yep. Well, last-ditch effort here as the final timeout call comes through from EDG. What are you meant to say here if you're Muggle to try to rally the team back? To inspire the hope that, yes, we can, in fact, get 8 in a row to take this to overtime, to then be able to close out this best of 1. The odds are not looking great.
Whatever speech Team Liquid got against Paper Rex, maybe they can find that right out, round by round. That's really the only way you can think about it.
Yeah.
Not much else to be done. I mean, Ash has a Hunter's Fury. You're going to be scraping the barrel here to put a buy together. You got a Guardian and a Sheriff, and then the rifles otherwise. So things are going to be tricky. Nobody went away from his Hunter's Fury as well, so could try to work your way in towards the orb, see if you can use that. Find some kind of pick. Extra there. Doesn't like what he sees. Gonna back off.
Kong on the repeat, the tailwind forward. Realizes that he's starting to get overwhelmed, is able to go ahead and safely escape as Recon. It's a decent amount of information, but I don't think there was too much ambiguity about Gen.G's plan here. They're trying to get a catch, but unable to do so. Ball now falling, Hunter's Fury coming through. Munchkin is eating that to try to keep his position completely unknown.
One enemy remaining.
As it's just gonna be a firing squad opened up now.
Player standing.
Smoggy tries to clutch it up, but Ash is right there. Another 13-4. This time it's Gen.G coming out on top, looking electric as they take down EDG.
Yeah, just a tremendous map here. Gen.G looking so clean, looking like the team we saw in the first half of Masters Toronto. Very little that you can criticize. And
they dropped the pistol.
Yeah, exactly. That's about it. They played this so well. Foxy9 was outrageously good. Texture had a great map. I mean, again, you give him the operator, good things tend to follow, especially when he's on point with it, and he certainly was. So outside of that, some solid stuff, some solid efforts from Ash. Saw some good shots from him. Played really nicely as well. You know, again, one of those players who was kind of setting up for some good bait and switches. Him and Munchkin doing a good job with those. Munchkin on a few lurks.